Okay, so join me here just before the start of our WLC Crit Championships race. It's on the Glasgow Crit circuit, so it's not necessarily a straightforward crit race. The course is actually quite lumpy. We'll be taking on 10 laps of this circuit, and there's a bit of a hill, kind of in the middle. The Clyde kicker, I think off the top of my head it's about 400 metres long. I can't remember exactly, it's around 400 metres long. It's kind of in two parts. Steep early section, short flat bit in the middle, and then another steep kick to the top. This is a course that I've had sort of mixed results on in general racing. Sometimes done quite well, holding in for the sprint. Sometimes actually been distanced. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, 10 laps. I haven't personally raced a race as long as this, with as many laps on this circuit. If we think back to sort of ZRL earlier in the season, it was a 5-lap race, and I think I've also done a couple of 6-lappers on you. So it is going to be a slightly longer race actually. It's not going to be a massive field. It isn't an open race. It's not a race that anyone can join from, from the sort of the race join menu. There's about 25 signed up for each race prior to the start. Actually, there are only 7 showing in the pen, which seems a bit odd, or 8 now, because we were expecting a field of around mid-20s. So I don't quite know why that number is so low. Maybe a few people are just going to join quite late, but it'll certainly be slightly disappointing if we don't have a bigger field here. I don't quite know why that is, but anyway, today we were all told not to actually wear our own normal club kit, then our own standard WLC kit. So I've brought out the old Kirchmeier jersey for the club that I sort of used to ride and race for on Zwift before joining WLC at the tail end of last year. So it's nice to kind of get that out the garage, I suppose. And we'll see how today goes. I've had a nice warm up, spinning with Coco, about 50 minutes. I didn't ride yesterday. I did ride yesterday, sorry I should say, but only in the morning. Legs feeling a bit dead. I had a massive week last week. I did 27 hours, big base week. So only just kind of did a short race yesterday morning, just to kind of reintroduce a little bit of intensity and hopefully get the systems firing again. So that's why I did a longer warm up, just to kind of, really make sure the legs had shed a bit of the kind of dullness that was in them. Okay, just about to head off. So kick the power. Nobody wants to get dropped at the start gate. I suppose point of note, steering's turned off, power-ups are off. So there's no need to even consider any kind of power-up tactic. So unfortunately, we are only 11. I don't quite know why, but never mind. The race is here. I should give it my best shot. So even though the group is of course now quite small, it's going to be important just to be aware of any riders maybe trying to break away long. particularly those types of riders who maybe don't consider themselves to have a strong sprint. They may want to actually kind of try and go really long, you know, and do that FTP type effort, because with a smaller pack you've got more chance in getting a gap and kind of holding it and staying away from them. So it's something I did myself a couple of weeks ago on the Crit City loop. We had a pack of about 20 and it was going quite easy, and I thought I'll just see what I can do, you know, and without putting out silly power, I did manage to put 40 seconds on them by the finish. So we're on to the first ascent to the Clyde Kicker, so just on alert, not too concerned, just watching for any silly numbers in the attacks. A brief flirt of oranges there. So let's kick. I got a funny feeling we could be in for a tough old race here. Despite the small group. I think riders might want to play a little bit. So I do know the names of some of the riders in the group. I don't know all of them. Obviously we're all in Wahoo Call, but Hugh Davis there is he's got a good sprint on him. He's a rider was in the same kind of home ZRL team as me. As it happened, we didn't actually race together for any rounds in the season just past, but myself and Hugh made attack work a couple of months back on the volcano circuit by actually attacking with, so I'll just attack. So backed off. Yeah, we attacked together with about 900 meters left on that ramp going into the volcano, and we stayed away from the pack. So I do know he's won a couple of rounds this season in ZRL. So yeah, he's definitely a strong sprinter. These kicks are certainly going to add up as the race goes on. In every time, that's pushing me to high 180s in heart rate. So it's important to be on this course, to be super aware on that little secondary kicker. It's quite easy to get tailed off there if you don't give it a little kick and you lose a draft. So for anyone who watched the men's Zwift Games event over the weekend, the winner, Michael Kaminski, the Polish rider, on this circuit, because this was the finishing circuit, there were 10 riders left by the time they got onto here for a 5-lap race. Michael Kaminski went super long. He went through the group on that little downhill and held it to the finish line, taking the overall win, which was really, really impressive move. And it's something that I've definitely found, and I know a lot of people who race on Zwift are saying about how much the sprint finishes have changed since what we call the old days of Zwift, when they used to have the old or the original pack dynamics. A lot of groups would stay together and pretty much the strongest sprinter would win. That isn't the case as much anymore. It's very often you find breakaways work. It used to be sprint wouldn't kick off till a few hundred metres from the finish line, and it was practically pointless in going any earlier than that because you get swallowed up. What we're finding, since pack dynamics have been tweaked, the last couple of K in races are becoming absolutely insane, and for me personally, I'm getting a lot of good race results, but if we were to actually look at my sprint power, say for 15 seconds, it's dropping because you're often needing to follow attacks. In the last couple of K, it really strings out, and then a little bit of a kick over it. Just onto the glide kicker again, so I'm going to concentrate. Okay, someone going 12, 13 watts a kilo. We don't want that. Okay. There's definitely a lot of hunger to not let Breakaway go, but he has got 5 seconds here, so we don't let it build. But I also don't want to be the rider doing the bridging. Happy to contribute. Okay, he's coming back. Yeah, I went early there on that climb to, just in case I really wanted to put the hammer down on getting the tail there of the rider it went. But when others started working, leave them do the work. So going back to what I was saying, a lot of races no longer finishing in that big bunch sprint. So a couple of years ago I started doing something. This is in the old days with the old draft dynamics. Started doing something that really improved my own personal results, and that was sprinting early. Now, in them days, an early sprint was 400 meters to go, and what I was found is my results improved massively by being usually the first person to go and just getting a little gap on the peloton and then just driving it to the line. Now, that 400 meters to go is no longer early. Just an annoying little kick. Yeah, what's happened to me a couple of times in recent races is by trying to go at 400 meters, I might have come through, say, the bulk of a pack, but sometimes there might be one or two riders that have gone early and they become practically uncatchable. So it was interesting to see what Kaminsky did on this course that gave him a gap, and even though he did significantly less power than some of the sprints that happened behind, they just couldn't catch him. And it's definitely harder to make up distance these days. So I've begun wondering whether it's time for a rethink on some of these finishes. I used to sort of, my own personal results improved by being the first person to strike out rather than being reactive. Now I wonder whether that might be something I could try today. If you wait, it's easy to kind of get caught out, and then you're scrambling to react instead of being the one in control of the effort. And sometimes that can hurt more. I mean, I found that on courses like Libby Hill After Party, where you finish up flat race on the flats in Richmond, then you finish on the hill in, on the Libby Hill, and that's something I often found go longer at the bottom. Wilson got 6 seconds. He's only doing just over 4 watts a kilo, so seems to be aware. He's kind of creeped away here. Just going to try and sit in the wheel. And follow. So I am going to be the guy putting up the power. Cheers. approaching the halfway point. Yeah, leave it open, yeah. Okay, a few orange numbers. Just be alert. Forward sit on. Okay, Wilson's knocked it off. But he creeped away there without anyone really noticing. So the small size of this pack, it will make it easier for riders to stay away, but there's a lot of motivation, I think, in here to not let it happen. So for me, I'd often like to sit in for a sprint, but that way it's leaving a lot of things up to chance. And something I really don't like doing is one of those, I either like going with 400 or hitting out super long like you would on Libby Hill, Breakaway Bray on Scotland and the Rolling Highlands Loop. That's become a favourite of mine to do that on. Hit out long, it's about 45 seconds to a minute long effort. Get that gap and try and drive it. I like either doing that effort or a true sprint. Something that I find really tough is when it's kind of between the two. Or you've sat in, you haven't gone super long, you've sat in and you've kind of got 600 to 700 meters left and you think, maybe I need to go now, or they're staying away. In the old days, you might very well caught them, particularly with a big pack, but the new pack dynamics, you don't pass through riders as quickly. So sitting for a sprint's great. Nobody goes. People go, they're on the back foot. And a few years ago, I managed to improve my results a lot by being the first person to strike out and not being reactive. And I think I might try that today. I was thinking about it last week, about where to try it, to try and take as many variables out of the mix as possible. And then the Zwift Games was one with the rider attacking here, so people are a lot more aware of it and are going to be on alert to react. Now today, last lap, if I can do that, I'm going to try it as well. If, that's a big if riders start doing other things, we may find we've got a ridiculously long attack. And it just turns into this grinding FTP effort. Maybe someone will go off the climb, so we could find ourselves following it and then maybe sitting in a little bit later if I'm able to follow it. But if that doesn't happen and the group is together at that point, I think I'm going to have a go. I'm going to take as many variables out of the mix as possible and just go all in on the downhill and keep going as long as I can. I undoubtedly will fade, but it'll force people, when you get a gap, it'll force people to use their own sprint to chase. And that might really help me. Because then you're in control of your own effort, you're not reacting to others. Or hopefully that'll be the case. I'd definitely like it to be the case. Because there's something that hurts less about you taking it on because you want to than you needing to react to it. Okay, we have a bit of a push out front. Okay, he's backed off. Iverson's backed off. Okay, he's now going again. I am wondering if someone like, I think it's Kevin Horsley there, who's now just in front of me, is going to try and go really long, like a few K, to a proper breakaway. Because I don't know him sort of personally, but just from, you know, the club Discord, I know he races on My Roosh quite a lot. And My Roosh racing is very much FTP sustained efforts in a lot of the races. So I know he does quite well in some of the races. So he's probably quite used to doing those long sustained efforts. And I wonder whether he's going to kick maybe on the next lap or so. Okay, we're under 10k left now. 9.4, 3 laps. Yeah, the attacks definitely have died down, but there's no way they're over until the end. Not a chance. Yeah, Iverson is, I don't know, he's backing off. Maybe he's just stretching his legs or something there. Seen him kick, more power. Oops, going into orange. Follow Campbell. I think Horsley is very dangerous. Yeah, Horsley's backing off. Let's leave it then. That was a huge attack from Hubbard. Young Cunliffe, 13 watts a kilo. He's now got 8 seconds. It's quite a big lead. He's now got 9. Tell you what, he's dangerous there. We want to win this. This needs to be committed to. He's got some distance now. 11 seconds. Come on. About 9 seconds, but there's no chase in this group now. I've got a couple of little kicks to the front, but I can't seem to get come on, Kevin Horsley. Let's go, man. Come on, everyone. Well, whatever happens, it's definitely a case of going long now. You've got to catch Hubbard. Otherwise, there is no point. "14 seconds. Okay. Oh. Oh wow. That was a big minute effort at the end. Absolutely bravo to the winner. Oh dear. Oh.